Hi, everyone. My name is Ivory Harlow. I'm an organization director for the Ohio Farm Bureau. And today I'm going to share with you Uptrend, how to take your food and farm product from a cottage food cupboard to a grocery store shelf. So, as part of Foodpreneur, we have already enjoyed two sessions. First, you heard from Christy Welchs with the Ohio State University Direct Food and Ag Marketing Team. Christy talked about cottage foods, about starting to create food products in your kitchen and sell those direct to consumers. Next, we heard from Betsy Weckner. She's a brand strategist, and she shared information about current food trends. Today, I'm going to talk to you about three case studies of foods that started as cottage food type production operations that are now in grocery stores, that are everywhere we look. These are name brands that many of you probably have in your kitchens or have seen in major grocery stores. So, the goal here is to inspire you to do the same, to take those cottage food ideas and grow your business, and also to show you how these three unique companies, McClures Pickles, Chomps Meat Sticks, and Welch's Jelly and Jams, made it from cottage food cupboard to grocery store shelf. So first, let's talk about McClures Pickles. So my introduction to McClures Pickles was a friend of mine who ran over and told me, oh my gosh, Chillicothe Kroger has McClures. I had never heard of McClures, but she had attended grad school in Detroit, Michigan. You may not know this, but Detroit is the pickle capital of the United States, and McClure's is one of their most famous and favorite local brands. So she had enjoyed those pickles throughout grad school as a local food favorite and had recently seen them in Chillicothe Kroger. That's quite a leap from Detroit. So McClure's started out in 2006. This company was founded by two brothers. Their website is great. If you Google McClures Pickles and take a look at their timeline, it really shows that this is a family operations. Their mom and dad both have pictures and titles on there. This started with their great grandmother's recipe in 2006. So one thing that McClure's really had going for it was hot markets. I mentioned Detroit being the pickle capital of the United States. Detroit people love their pickles. So they entered a great market for this kind of food. The other brother was spending a lot of his working time in Brooklyn. And as you know, Brooklyn, New York City has a very vibrant deli scene. So they entered two very lucrative markets with a product that was not only something that fit those markets, but was trending. At the time, in 2006, we were hearing a lot about small batch, artisan, local, fermented foods. And McClure's had a fantastic recipe that fit those trends, and they were able to take it to markets. Back in 2006, the brothers entered specialty markets, so specialty grocers and direct to consumers on a very small scale. Here we are 14 years later, and McClure's is in Chillicothe Kroger. Not only that, they're in Kroger's across the state of Ohio and across the region. McClure's is also in Target. You can find them in Lucky's. You can find them in Hy-Vee. They're in some Walmarts and also in Meijer's, which is a regional grocer. So they're also in other retailers across the nation, and you can view on their map where you can find McClure's Pickles and really see how they've spread out from the epicenter of Detroit. They have now since moved all of their production to Detroit, Michigan. When it came time to grow, they really understood the value of that local product and that they had a solid consumer base of fans in Detroit. They purchased a large factory in Detroit, and all of their production is done in Detroit to this day in 2021. They also have gained natural and kosher certification. So these certifications are important for a couple of reasons. I'm sure Betsy talked about the trend of things being natural, not having additives. This was always true of their grandma's pickle recipe, but they gained the certification to show that to others. Kosher certification, also an important certification in their markets, which were Brooklyn and Detroit, and the large urban markets that they were wanting to grow into. So although they were already producing a product that was natural and kosher certified, when they couldn't have that direct conversation with the customer because they were selling through a retailer or a grocery store, they needed to pursue those certifications to show the customer that they were both an all natural product and a kosher certified product. They have since expanded their product line. So they have Bloody Mary mixes, they have flavored potato chips. They're trying a lot of new and innovative things. From 2006 to 2021, McClures has grown to a fantastic company that started as a cottage food and now is in grocery stores across the nation. Some takeaways from McClures. What have we learned about the way they did things and managed to be successful? I would just point out a quote from the Detroit Free Press. Joe McClure said he and his brother Bob had the idea to launch the business in the early 2000s after seeing changes in food trends. So, like we learned from other foodpreneur sessions earlier, the food trend portion of this was a great driver to success. Other drivers to their success. This was consumer driven. I told you the story of my friend coming to me saying, McClures is in Kroger in Chillicothe. Consumers loved McClures Pickles. They had rapid social media growth. So their fans sharing that information and sharing how much they loved this product with their friends was truly a driver of their success. They also received positive press in small publications such as Detroit Free Press and Medium, which is a blogging platform. So really those kind of small grassroots efforts to bring this brand to the grocery store were critical. They ran a very successful National Pickle Day marketing campaign that is interesting to watch, but just on social media, through their Twitter, through their Facebook, and some local publications online through the Detroit Free Press. They launched a campaign all around Pickle Day that got people interested in McClures. They continue to be consumer driven, even though they are now in grocery stores across the nation. One thing that I thought was a fantastic idea, they make it so easy for you to ask your grocer to carry McClures. They have a downloadable grocer request form on their website. You can go download it, print it out, write that you are requesting McClures pickles in your local grocery store, and hand that off to the staff of your grocery store on how they can get in contact and carry McClures, which I bet is how they ended up in Kroger in a smaller town like Chillicothe. So super interesting to watch this consumer-driven success with McClures pickles. So next we're going to talk about Chomps. Chomps is a beef stick or a meat stick that started out as just beef. They also use turkey and pork and other meat at this point. I first learned about Chomps listening to podcasts. So I'm a big fan of the Muscle Maven, Ben Pakulski, Rob Wolf. These are different paleo-esque type podcasts, and Chomps was doing some advertising and talking about the all natural meat sticks that you could purchase online, that they were gluten free, that they were paleo friendly, really appealing to the crowd that listens to health and fitness podcasts. On those podcasts, they were always offering a code that you could purchase and buy them direct online. So imagine my surprise when I went into Walmart and saw Chomps right there on the shelf. So Chomps was started in 2012. Within 9 years, so 2021 today, they are in Trader Joe's, they're in Kroger, they're in Walmart, they're in Whole Foods. So they broke all the barriers to those awesome markets that we dream about when we're making those cottage foods in our kitchen. Chomps Beat Sticks was founded by a personal trainer. That trainer was the one full-time employee for several years before they expanded and grew the business. What they became known for, and the trend that was really at the essence of this product, is that it is grass-fed meats that are natural. Their sourcing is very transparent, and they're all about health. So if you think about the other meat sticks out there that are on the shelf, next to Chomps, you would see something like a Slim Jim and a Jack Links. This is miles away from what Chomps is, right? We usually think of those as convenience foods that you would buy at a gas station. So Chomps really went on the better for you. So people that might have eaten Slim Jims and were looking for a better for you option were picking up Chomps. And Chomps really did a good job telling their story of the natural, the grass-fed, the health aspects. This was founded by a personal trailer and going to the podcasts that were about health and fitness to tell the story of the product. They leveraged the paleo community. One of their major successes early on was a trade show, bringing Chomps meat sticks to Paleo FX, which is a major trade show to reach the consumers that were interested in paleo. For those of you who aren't familiar with what paleo is, this is an ancestral health focused on healthy proteins, whole and natural foods, products type of movement that is getting back to basic ingredients. They advertise on podcasts. I told you a few podcasts that I listen to that reach the health and fitness crowd. They also worked with paleo bloggers and did some guest posts on paleo blogs and really got into those paleo communities online and talked about their transparent sourcing, their better for you, all natural meat stick. So here we are, 2021. They have been noted on Inc.'s list of fastest growing US private owned companies. That was the 2019 list, but that is quite a feat. Having started as a food company in a crowded jerky space, they are one of the fastest growing US private owned companies. They have about $20 million in revenue as of last year. So in just 9 years, they're at the $20 million mark. I mentioned the places they are, large grocers and retailers like Trader Joe's, Kroger, Walmart, Whole Foods. I want you to hone in on the Trader Joe's and Whole Foods because we know getting a product into those retailers specifically can be very difficult. What the founder said made the difference was the third-party certifications that we're about to talk about: non-GMO, gluten-free, paleo, keto, whole 30. So these are all health type certifications. They're third-party certifications that a company can get for their product. And on the next slide, we're going to talk about why some of those can be costly, but can make the difference to achieving success in a store. The founder was noted as saying the ticket to get into Trader Joe's was that Whole 30 certification. So we know that large grocers and retailers understand that their consumers care about those trends, care about those certifications, and are actively seeking products with those certifications. So here's a picture of a Chomps, one of their varieties that's the best. If you're going to try one, the jalapeno one is the best. Original is also good. But the Hoppin' Jalapeno Chomp meat stick in the background there, according to their a case study on Chomps in 2021, many smaller brands might hesitate to invest money in independent third-party certification, especially when you're in those early initial startup stages of a brand where money can be tight. Going for, here in the corner, I have listed all of Chomps third-party certifications. Putting out the money for those kind of certifications can seem really extreme. However, the founder did note that getting into those big retailers, those Whole Foods, that allowed them to be a multi-million dollar producing company was dependent on having some of those certifications. So that's something to think about. The founder said, major retailers understand the role third-party certifications play in consumer purchasing decisions. This is all in Chomp's case study published in 2020. If you want to take a look at that, if you're a protein producer especially, that's an interesting one to look at. But just knowing that, again, these third-party certifications can tell the story when you are not there to hand off your cottage food to the consumer. When they're walking in a grocery store and see, Chomps nestled between Jack Links and Slim Jims, you're not there to sell your product and tell you how much better this Chomps beef stick is. So these certifications, that it's a certified paleo product, that it's a keto certified product, that are establishing some of these trends, can do the job of telling that story for you. So last but not least, we're going to talk about a big one, and that's Welch's. Who has not enjoyed this sandwich? If you have not lately, pause this and go in your kitchen and make yourself a PB&J. Welch's jelly is the best. They began, just one farmer was also a doctor, in 1869. So 152 years later, Ivory Harlow is walking in the grocery store past the Easter display and sees Welch's jelly beans infused with grape juice. They're all over now, from just producing juice and jelly in the late 1800s to now being infused in jelly beans, being in frozen products, partnering and with other organizations to create licensed products. Welch's has grown exponentially in 152 years. So they began with Dr. Thomas Welch. He was producing a pasteurized, for the first time, bottled grape juice. So this had health claims. He was calling it unfermented wine at the time, which it was. But again, if we're talking about food trends and cottage foods, he was bottling something that he was making his own health claim on at the time, which was an unfermented wine, a healthy pasteurized bottled grape juice. He utilized cooperative marketing to scale that business. One farmer can only grow so many grapes and only bottle so much juice. But when he could work with the National Grape Growers Cooperative to cooperatively market grapes into juice and products, he grew into Welch's, what we know and see across our grocery store today in 2021. Today, Welch's has 1,000 family farms across the United States. Fun fact, there are 349 Welch growers right within the Lake Erie region, where we are. They also have an expanded line. So I mentioned those jelly beans, which by the way were delicious. And now that Easter is done, I do not have access to them. So I will have to buy them on Amazon. They have an expanded line of juices, sparkling juices. There are all sorts of spreads. It's not just grapes anymore. It's several different kinds of spreads and also many snacks. So you'll see them in trail mixes. You'll see them getting into the snack game with crackers and other licensed products as well. Talking about the trends that they're utilizing, we know that Dr. Thomas Welch started with a health claim about his unfermented wine, his bottled and pasteurized grape juice. Today, they understand that consumers are looking for organic options, especially for kids' treats. So if you go to the grocery store and you look at some of these snack items, especially when you're looking at snacks that are intended for children, you will see many of those have USDA organic certification. You will also notice they have a pouch of fruit kind of mush, applesauce type products. They're in eco and convenience packaging, so you'll notice they're paying very close attention to how their products are packaged on that lower waste and sustainability trend that we're seeing in food products. And they're also licensing with partners to scale. So Welch itself is not creating those jelly beans or those Uncrustables by themselves. They're using a very interesting model where they're licensing with other companies in their respective spaces and co-creating product to scale. A quote from Retail and Hospitality Hub was, Welch's fruit snacks are wildly successful and their freeze-dried fruit is on trend. So freeze-dried fruit snacks, who would have thought? Not Dr. Thomas. On trend with freeze-dried fruit, but these healthy, portable, convenient snacks that can be condensed into eco-friendly packaging are on point and selling very well in our grocery stores. Glenn Hendrick is Welch's head of global licensing, who creates those partnerships for things such as the jelly beans and Uncrustables said. The goal is to maintain the quality and the emotional connection while giving the consumer something they want in every product. So you can see even on Welch's packaging, those rows of grapes growing on the farm, really keeping that health kind of feel to Welch's, not making people compromise on that emotional connection. This is a 152-year-old company that is maintaining that family farmer owned emotional connection to folks, but we've seen amazing growth in the 152 years Welch has been in our kitchens. So to review uptrend lessons we've learned from McClures, Chomps, and Welch's. Lesson number 1. If 2 brothers, a personal trainer, and a farmer/doctor can do it, you can too. If you're interested in taking your cottage food creation to grocery store shelves, it can be done. It can be done by 2 brothers, it can be done by 1 personal trainer, or 1 farmer that has grown into an amazing business that's nationwide. Lesson number 2. Producers can leverage trends to grow their cottage food businesses. In McClures, early 2000s, artisan, small batch, fermented foods. Chomps, all natural, grass-fed meat sticks. Welch's, farmer-owned, healthy grape products, spreads, and juices. Lesson number 3. Know your target customers' needs and desires. I think that Chomps was great to illustrate that. They knew that people were looking for better for you options, that paleo folks wanted paleo approved and certified products that fit their diet. They knew exactly what their consumers needed and they delivered. Trend number 4, stay true to what makes you you. McClures did a great job of this. So they came from Detroit, the pickle capital of the United States of America. Their branding stayed pretty consistent throughout that. It had that Detroit city feel. And even now, when you look at their website, they're really touting that. They came from the pickle capital of the United States, and they're staying true to their roots and bringing it to you. Tip number 5, super fans can amplify your success. So Chomps leveraged the paleo community to talk about Chomps, to talk about what a great option this was, to spread the good news of Chomps to other fitness and health-minded folks. Another tip, grassroots marketing works. So we saw in both Chomps and in McClures Pickles that they really started from the ground up. So my friend that shared with me that the pickles had arrived from Detroit, finding those Chomps in the local Walmart, really the health and fitness crowd driving those products to store shelves, goes to show you that grassroots marketing works. Market location matters. So in all of our examples, these food products knew what their market was and where it was and chose how to grow strategically based on where those markets were located. Had the McClures taken their product out of Detroit, they may have not experienced the success that they did. Instead, they bought a warehouse and they moved all production to Detroit and grew out of that because location matters, and they were able to capitalize on that. We learned that consumers lack trust of mainstream products. So back on that Welch's label, it said farmer owned, right? It's a farmer owned cooperative. We trust farmers and they are farmer owned. We know there's 1,000 farmers in the growing and marketing cooperative that is Welch's. Consumers may lack trust in mainstream products, but when they know that there are farmers behind those products, and when we can tell that story effectively through marketing, that will amplify the success of a product from cottage food cupboard to grocery store shelf. We also learned that third-party certifications establish credibility with customers. So in Welch's, especially on their new snack products, they were using the organic USDA certified organic label to communicate to customers that that was a healthy product, a healthy kid snack, particularly in those fruit pouch options. We also saw within Chomps using the paleo certified and the keto certified established credibility with the customers that were looking for products that would fit their diet. And last but not least, retailers see value in those third-party certification. Chomps mentioned specifically getting into Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. We're looking for those Whole30 approved, for those keto certified certifications on products already. Those companies are actively seeking products that have those credentials. So keeping that in mind as you form strategies how to bring your cottage food to grocery store shelf. Thank you so much for joining me. My name again is Ivory Harlow. You can reach me at iharlow@ofbf anytime. I'm happy to answer your questions and also talk to you about your food product and what your plan is, what your strategy is to go from cottage food cupboard to grocery store shelf. We'll see you soon.